Hey guys, how you doing? Okay, I just want to make sure everything's flowing. Perfect. It's actually staying in unison this time. Perfect. Okay, dokie. We'll do one game and then we'll start into it. Okay. Alright, let's do it. Alright, okay. Let's see, how do I want to do this? I think I'm just going to castle right now. It's not worth risking going for an attack. I can always go up there and do that. Let's see if I can't. Oh, so he's doing that. Oh, that's my bad there. Let's see here. How do we want to break this down? Let's see if we can't lock this up here. I might try I might try taking here and takes there and then knight in. That's probably what I'll do. But this is an interesting idea. Oh shoot. That wasn't I was very blessed there. Yeah, we'll call it a day on that one. Yeah, I kind of blundered back here. I'll show you. It was like, whoa. I made a mistake. I thought there was a pin. I'll show you. That was a mistake. But I still think, I think I'd still be okay, but I really don't think so. I think I missed a couple moves back here. Let's take a looky. Because I missed something here I wanted to check. I'm still good so far. This is a puzzle one too. Kinda, it's got me in a bind. So I had to kind of break the bind here with these moves. This is actually the best move here. I know it seems weird. You'd think pushing, but that's actually the best. This is actually, I missed this. That's actually equality, because if he plays here, then you actually play takes, rook takes, and then you take there, and king takes, and it takes, and it takes, and it's a draw at that point. That would have been better, that move combo. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This was a losing move, because then he can actually go back, and I'm losing here. I thought there was a pin, but this was a temporary pin. This is actually the best move over here on B1, rook B1, and he'd basically have to come back here, and then what you do is you can push there, and if he takes here, then you check. First you I don't know. I like that. Well, I guess you could win. Why not win a queen, right? Oh, that's a sweet mate. Yeah, you got mate now. Either way, you would have mate, so yeah. So let's go over Tatev game. This is the advanced variation. And we're going to do it from her side of the board. Okay, let me get a drink real quick and then we'll get started. Hello? Hello? Oh, good. Okay. Sorry. I just wanted to make sure. Didn't see my mic down there. Okay. Okay. Let's see. We're back in the fray. And now we're getting. This is the advanced variation. Oh, snap. That's the advanced variation right there. And then from here, different ideas. That's the old main line. Remember we talked. That's one line, and I believe we even talked about that being a line as well. Because then you can actually play here. And that's why the line works. Is even if you played there, you still can get a pawn, and this is fractured. So those are kind of there's this move here, this move, and that move. But Tatev played the old main line. A3. And of course you know why this taking is a bad idea. Because of boom. That's why that's a bad idea. That's why that's pushed. Takes. And then now you got 3 attackers. And you have 3 defenders. Bishop B2. Knight D. This is, remember how we talked about the line in Nick Defer's book? This is that. This is that line with the queen, the main line, queen B6. This is this whole line. They play pattern openings, so these aren't just made up lines. These actually are applicable. So that's why you gotta make sure that if your opponent strays, and let's say like what we talked about here, let's say your opponent plays that. You know what? They diverted from the line. The correct line, of course, is B4, but because they played there, now you get a tactic called a fork. You can attack here and here. So if he plays here, what you can do is at this point you potentially could. I think you can actually take here. If I'm trying to see if you actually take here, I'm trying to remember, because there's a tactic that arises. You can actually take here, and then if the rook comes over, you can take here, and then you just totally crunched the position. So I'm not sure if I want to see if after here if the bishop actually is taken here. Okay, it is. What happens though if you take queen takes c3? Okay, the bishop can actually come back. Alright, and so they've won a piece, so you can't really do that yet. And then if he plays here, then you can actually take. So he's going to actually look at you have to play rook c1 to hold this pawn, and then now you play bishop to d7, and you won a pawn. Yes, your king side's fractured, but even if that, you really don't want to take, because that puts it on a bad diagonal, so this is actually best. Now you have two attackers. And if he plays there, you just take there, and if he takes here, you come back with check. And you're the funny thing is you're actually winning here. It's pretty funny, but that's the truth. It's like you're totally winning. Bishop and then rook. Black's a lot better in this position, in my opinion. This is much better for black. And then now, why not get Harry into the fight? Now we have Gary coming in, and Gary's coming crunching down the board. Wow, you gotta love how Tatev goes for the KO on this one. Why doesn't she take here? I'm wondering about that. What happens if you take here? Oh, okay, the bishop takes. Actually, rook takes. Okay. Rook takes. I'm going to check one thing out real quick. See if Tatev's game actually comes up. Yes, it does. Sweet. That's pretty impressive that the computer does have that many games. Wow. So a pawn's been taken. Then now, if you notice, the pieces are all starting to flood in on the king. And this king actually isn't in danger at all because this bishop guards, this queen guards, the knight guards, the knight guards. It's like her position's solid rock. They can't be broken at this moment. Now she just strengthens it even more. There's no way that the bishop can come in. You could try, but now you have how many defenders? One, or sorry, hold on. 1, 2, and 3. How many attackers? 1, 2, and 3. Now we're getting ready for the push. Okay, now we can basically now we can put a knight on C, potentially C. Oh wow, she took there. Now it's cemented. Wow, this is a power game for sure. Here, there, man. Now that's under fire. King's coming up off the light square because there's only a light square bishop now. Boom. Yeah. Oh man. This is impressive. So I guess the idea of the rook to c1 is to attack the bishop. Potentially try to get a check on c7. That's what this rook wants to do. And kind of maybe start somewhat of an attack with the knights. Sorry, like getting the rook here, get the knights somewhere in there, and potentially get a bishop like there, something like that. But why not just eliminate that threat? So her opponent can't allow this to actually happen, so it's like And there's really no hope now because this is under attack and this pawn's gonna end up queening. So I want to show you that game. Let's get into our advanced variation training also from Nick Defer's game. Book, opening book. So here we go. So we gotta turn the board. Alright, e4, e6, d4, d5. Here, and there. So now we have c6, f, and instead of the old main line here, here are there. We're going to play knight GE. And when we talked about a3, and now we're going into c takes d, c takes d, and knight f5. So the knight comes to f5 here to double attack, and then you could potentially have a triple. Queen c2, you have to do that to guard the pawn on d4. Queen b6. Now these 2 points are under fire. Here are these 2 points. So if this bishop ever moved, that pawn will fall. Sorry, that pawn will fall. Bishop d3 is right here. Bishop d3, trying to see if you can't get rid of a knight. Bishop b4 check. King. If the knight takes, then you actually check there, and I believe if bishop intercepts, how do you handle that? Oh, you just win there. Okay, that's kind of a little awkward. So, gotta get rid of that. So B is check, king f1 is the forced line move, and then the bishop goes back to e7 because it accomplished its goal of moving the king so it can't castle. So, and then h4 would be played here, trying to potentially remove the queen. Bishop d7, and now we can actually take this pawn here. g4 is played. I'm wondering if we can't. Oh, okay. Okay, so then you can take there, and then you have a check. All right. So now you just take the. Okay, you're like 2 pawns up now. Okay, I see. What am I thinking? It's not b4. My bad there. Get rid of that. It's g4. And that's why knight h6 has to be played. Okay. And that's. Let's see. I don't know why I pushed b4. That was wrong. b4 was wrong. So now we gotta do w. What's that game? Okay. Rook g1. Let's see if that game comes up. Huh. Hope I did that line right. Knight G8. Rook B1. A5 to stop that. So if that's played, if you play here, you could actually take there and you're fine. So you can't play that move. So E2 is Queen E2. Not D2, E2. That's silly. So that this bishop here can actually play there, and then maybe he can remove the knight potentially, because this is coming to a closed game, and that is an interesting idea. So B4, so that now if knight takes, which is what happens, A takes, this is under fire twice, so he's going to have to play knight takes B4. It says A3. Somewhere along the line I missed a move. Where did I miss? No, I'm good so far. Okay. King G1, King G8, A1, A5. Not on the move at 11. Oh, that's the reason. Gotta get rid of this. It's H4. That's the move then here. Now, I don't know why I put A4. That's funny. That's why the game didn't come up. That's funny. J4. Knight H. And let's see now if the game doesn't come up. Well, there's two games that come up. The one we're going to do is this one. And Tag Ronan versus Spaghetti. It's in New York, 1986. So this is a 50-50 move. So let's see here. Rook G1. Trying to get this. So that's why he goes G8. That makes sense now. Because he doesn't want this bishop to trade off and then potentially open this up. That would not be a fun idea. So Rook B1 is played. A5. Queen E2. B4. Knight takes B4. Knight takes B4, and then A3 with a sparse. There's a sparse advantage for white. A small advantage. That's what the book says. It's a small advantage for white. But it actually says that this is actually the game right here. So we'll pull up the game and finish it. Finish the game off. And it's odd how white actually wins here, surprisingly. Because you'd think that with the battery of the attack that's going on, that you would be able to well, I guess there is not a lot of room for white to, for black, is there? Black's kind of cramped here, so I don't doubt that he's going to fall apart pretty soon. And wow, let's see, they have equal pawns, but white has an outside pass pawn, where black has a center pass pawn. And black finally threw in the towel and decided that it was going to be mate. And there's really no way I guess there is a way of stopping it, but how can you handle that right now? Potentially probably with, okay, trade that off. And this can actually be pushed. Yeah, that's not a fun thing. Yeah, you don't like to have that dropped on you for sure. No, no, no. Okay, so I think we've gone through everything on the advanced. So we're gonna now just do maybe the first move of the classic variation. So what I'm gonna do is get rid of this board, and then I'll pull up another board. And we'll go to analysis, and then we'll get on to our puzzles. So E4, of course. Oops, I gotta turn the board. Come on. Hold on, guys. E4, E6, D4, D5, Knight C3, Knight F6, G5, Bishop E, and then there's actually there's a couple lines that could be played here. There's the main line, which is E5. This is the actually main line. Then you have Knight F here, and then of course the trade happens. But there's also a subline of bishop takes bishop, bishop takes, knight F3, and C5. And you have E takes, B check, knight C3, castle kingside, and then castle kingside, kingside, C takes D, and then A5 with a dual threat of here crossing over. So that's one line. And then after E5, there's a secondary line. Instead of here for for black, there's B, which is knight E4, bishop takes bishop, queen takes, knight takes E4, D takes E4, C3 to cement his line of structure, C5, which is trying to undermine his structure, queen B4, going after the weak G and the weak E4 pawn. C takes D, queen takes G, rook F8, knight E2, and knight C6, rook D1 with an advantage. This should be a game that comes up. I want to check, make sure. What did I miss something? What's the name of the game? And then maybe I kind of missed the, hold on. I gotta make sure that I'm not, hold on. c5, g4, c takes. And okay, we're on move 11. So rook f8, e2. Knight c6. I think this has to be the game here. I think this should have been castles. Castle queenside. It said that rook d1. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if that was maybe a misprint. I'm not sure, but I'm not going to say anything. But the game didn't come up unless, well, I guess that, well, the guy is different here, so this must be a game that isn't played. It's the same guy. No, it's not. That's not the same guy. Sorry, I thought it was. So that there is no game that is on Allied Chess for this line. So the guy, if you want to look up the game, White's name is ZHELI. Sorry, repeat that. I have to respell that. ZHELNIN. The player he faced as black is GLEK, and the place that they played at, the name of it is spelled KHARKOV, and the date is 1986. If you want to look it up, because the game's probably available, but it's not on here. So if you're interested in the continuation of this game, that's that'd be the name of the players and the place they played and the date. Okay, so let's go over the classic mainline. Of course, this is the start of the French, and then this is the classic variation right here. That's the classic variation, and we'll stop here right now. And let me see. I will play one game, and then we will get on to our tactics and have some fun. Because we have to keep an eye on constantly have our studies ready. Okay, now that we have some knowledge under our belt, let's see how we do. All right, the French. Let's see if we get to play the French. See what line he plays. Okay, we haven't went over the exchange. It's pretty common of an opening. It's who has the best chance of tactical understanding that wins usually. Usually they play here to g5, bishop g5. Okay, so he's going for undermining the pawn structure. Oh, so he's playing there. If he plays here, I'll just retreat back. This is kind of a weakness now. I'm going to see if I can't play queen c1. just going to play a6 to stop push that. Okay, it's fine with me. Play my queen here now. He's going to probably take here. I'm going to play bishop to f4 and see if I can't get a queen in. Okay, so he plays there. Alright. Let's see if we... Do I want to bring my rook over? Yeah, I want to bring my rook over. Kind of get my rooks doubled to see if I can't do that. Let's see, I'm going to probably have to retreat. Let's see, does he have anything? No, I'm going to retreat my rook there, see if I can't double. There's no more dark squared bishop, so he might try the exchange here. Interesting. I might play rook takes, rook... Well, maybe. Let's see. Do I have anything that... Let's see if I think I'm going to drop my knight in there. I like that move. Because then he'll take, and then I can take here. He'll push there. Well, then I could play bishop here, so... Wow. He just hung a piece. So he'll resign here. That's under attack. That's, sorry, this is under attack here. I can move here or there. Yeah, he'll resign here. Well, we'll show what probably should have been the main move sequence. If he had played here, I was going to play rook takes. And at this point, he maybe could have played here, but I don't know, because I like that. And he may have taken here, I would have taken here, and then he could have taken there, and I would have doubled up. Well, I guess I could have won a pawn there. So I don't think he could actually play that. So he would have played here, I'd play there, and because that actually loses. Because if you take here, you play there, and there's a check. And if he plays here, you win another pawn. If he plays back, you win another pawn. And then the queen has to come over to block, and you win the queen. When it comes there, you can actually check, and if it comes back, then potentially you have a, let's see here, I'd probably play here, and if he takes, then I take there. If he comes over here, I would check, and then when he blocked there, then I'd push, and if he came over here, I'd then bring my king in. If we tried something like that, then I can check, and if he brings there, I can check here, I can check there, and if he moves there, then I can start getting my pawns. If he plays there, I'll just play up, and then I'm going to walk my pawns down the board. So I think he was lost to begin with back here. Trying to see what does the computer say. I want to see if the line that we're talking about is right, because I may be okay. So takes here, rook takes. Oh, the king moves, because if he moves there, you can actually take and you win a piece. That wins a piece on the spot, so he can't do that. He's going to move his king, and now you do an Alekhine gun. And then you move your queen. Okay. Kind of like that. Well, you have a pretty good bind on this guy here. Yeah. So he took there, and I really don't. After that move, you just bring your queen. Okay. So let's go into our puzzles now. I will leave this puzzle with you guys to go over. And I'll be right back. Let's see here. Hold on, I just want to check one thing. Oops. Okay, right there. Just sorry about that. I just want to make sure I have it set right. Let me see here. Okay, so bishop to b6. Okay, so it's white to play. Okay, bishop b6. Oh, sorry, bishop b. Yeah, bishop takes b6. That's what I mean. I had b5. Okay. If queen takes b5, I mean b6, sorry. Queen e4. Well, I'm thinking if we do queen e4 right away, I think he can. No, he can't take. He might retreat back. So if we, oops, sorry, if we take here, no. No, I don't see anything either. Okay. Let's do this right here. Let's see. I think you're correct with first queen to e4, because I was looking at here, and if we try queen to e4 at this moment for white, drat. Sorry about that. Queen e4 at this moment, the queen can actually come and take. Nope, I'm wrong. The knight would take at that point. So the queen can't take there. I guess it does work. Maybe trying to see is there any difference. Right, that is, which way is an important battle. Trying to see if we play queen to e4, what would be his response? See, that's what you have to think. What's his response? Oh, the response would be bishop to d5 at that point. Hey, how you doing? So if we tried queen e4, bishop to d, it has to be taken, because then this pawn guards, and really we'd have to move our queen back, and potentially the knight can just move at that point and it's safe. So the first move, oh snap. Oh, there, that's the reason. Okay, gotcha. Okay, that's fine. We'll get this back. Not a problem. Not a problem. Okay. Wow, in 5 moves there's a tactic. Who'da thunk? I believe it's potentially might be bishop takes. Trying to see, because there's bishop or knight takes. We can't play queen to h5 because he could take there, and that move doesn't work because he could just take. So it's potentially if bishop takes there, if rook takes, knight takes, knight takes, and then queen to h5 check, and you win the knight. Yeah. There is a potential. Knight takes, check. Thinking it's a potential bishop takes, but I'm trying to see. See if we take the bishop, the king can actually move at that point. I'm thinking that it might be bishop takes, because that allows for even if he comes up here, you then can bring your bishop back here, and then you're forking the queen and the rook, and if the queen moves here, then you have a discovery on the rook, and the bishop's here to attack the queen. Yeah, and so and then if bishop takes h7, rook takes h7, knight takes, then queen check, and if pawn up, we take and we win the knight. So bishop takes, and if knight takes, we play queen check. King moves up. We still have our knight jumps in. And if the queen moves here, over, we play knight takes rook. And Well, I guess that doesn't work now because that'd be a queen and queen. Yeah, I think it's that we have to keep the knight there. I think the knight's important to be there. Not sure if the queen could actually, I mean the bishop could take now that I think, because if he takes there, there is a check. Are we missing something that's easier? Yeah, I think I like bishop takes. Yeah, that's knight takes there. And then takes. And if he takes the other way with knight here, we come in, and if he comes up here, you play knight takes first, bishop check, and now you got the whole party coming in, and it's coming it's going to be coming crashing on down. We're doing good, guys. You gotta be fearless when you calculate these lines out. You can't. It's not for the faint of heart. Let's see. What do we got here? What do we got? What do we got? He doesn't want this pawn to be pushed. That's why he moved here. That's why he moved there. But he put himself on a pretty problematic. Yeah. Trying to see here. Queen G. Yeah. Huh. Yeah. C7 does look weak. Maybe we just play Queen 2. C4. Trying to think if that's, because that does take advantage there. And if he plays a rook to he checks, let's see, okay, let's say we play to G4. Well, we have to do something that it has to be a play against this move, this pawn. This is the only way that we can get some play, is right here. Yes, he can check, but that's not a problem. Because if we play here, let's say checks, right? We just go up to king to G2. If he tries checking here, it comes down and checks. We just play knight to F2, and he can't check anymore because this is covered by a pawn and there's a block, and so this is still hanging. And if he tries here, I guess he could try there. Huh. Yeah. True. I'm kind of liking bishop to bishop c6. I know it kind of looks kind of funky a little bit, but that does stop the pawn from moving. But yeah. Yeah, c5 could be played, but that is true. What then? Ooh, maybe we're missing just queen to queen e queen e yeah. This is, you got it. That's the move. That's the winning line. Because if he plays bishop there, we could take. If he plays rook there, we could take. If he checks, we just block, and there's nothing more he can do. Yeah, this is the death blow. And if he plays back here, we just push our pawn, and then if he moves there, we can actually just take at that point, and then get ready for a mate on the next move, or winning, at least winning the queen. So yeah, that's the move. So if he tries checking here, we just drop a knight in there, and if he tries moving his king back, we can actually check there. If it comes up, we come over, it comes there, and then we actually use 2 ways to checkmate. Well, it's good that we took our time to see it now then, so that was a good, that was nice. That was nice. Okay. Let's see, what do we have here? What move sequences can we accomplish? I actually do like D6. D6 is a really stellar move. Because we potentially have the ability to win a queen in that line. Yeah. The threat is knight b6. That's fine, we just take it. If knight e5, we can actually at that point take here, and we win a piece, and we can always retreat our queen back if the queen takes here. So like if we push here, the knight comes there, we take, and then the queen would have to take after that. Huh. Right. I think that is the move. I think d6 is the only move. We can't, if we play our knight here, he can actually take, then we play and it's equal material. Actually, he wins a pawn in that line. So the only move that starts, and if he plays, after we push the pawn here, whatever he plays, we're going to win material. Yeah. Well, we can just retreat our queen back at this point here. Yeah, queen a2, and we're still going to win a piece in this line. We just take. We can actually take the knight here, and then when the queen takes, yeah, we just take the knight here. If the queen takes here, then we can actually play there, and then if you can actually take here. After a king takes, then you can oh wow, nice. Yep, we win the rook. That's power right there. That is power. You got to love it. So let's see here. There's something to do, I know, with like a fork. Yeah. I'd probably say bishop here. But I don't think so, because then the king can move out. So probably bishop. Hmm. Why not just knight takes? True. That is an interesting idea. I'm trying to find out, guys. Sorry, I was just a little quiet here. I'm trying to find out if we can't get knight to f3 in somehow. Hey, Loki. I'm trying to see. I think it's actually, in my opinion, I believe it's that, but that's just me. To hold the fort, I believe that it's bishop to e2. Yeah, but we have to remember that this pawn is on the run too. So we have to keep that in mind as we go. And so, even this is the funny thing. Even if um, let's say we play bishop here, and let's say he moves his king, right? Sorry, bishop here, he moves his king. We still have knight there attacking the queen. Then if he pushes, we take. If he pushes, we can actually come back. Let's see here. I'm trying to see. Okay, let's see. If we come here, he comes, we come, he pushes, we take, he pushes. Man, oh man, Chevez. This isn't an easy one. Yeah. Kind of see what you're talking about. Knight c4. Yeah, I'm thinking. I think you're right with that, Loki, about bishop e2. We were looking at that, and I believe that's the only move that actually has anything that holds. But we're trying to make it work, because what we're thinking is if we play bishop here, he has king to g2. Guess we have perpetual at that point, don't we? We could go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We also could retreat our king back too. After this move, we can retreat our king back here. So if we played here, he played there, we just retreat our king back. If he comes over, we can at this point just take the pawn after we play knight up, because then the queen would have to move. I do like bishop to e2. What do you think, Super? we gotta be careful of this pawn here. Oops. Gotta be careful of this pawn. We have to stay in contact with that pawn. We can't allow that pawn to get rolling down the board. We don't have enough time to actually stop it. So we have to keep our bishop. We have to keep a bishop here to hold this down, so that we can also later on put this knight here and bring this king over to stop this. This knight actually stops the movement of the pawn. So I'm thinking that it's potentially like what Loki said, bishop to e2. And everything is cemented. There's really nothing he could do. I think we have a fortress. Bishop d5. Yeah. I don't know, but that's just like really. If we play here, he's got a check there. And if we try to intercept here, he can actually take at that point check. Then he's got two passers. So I'm thinking that the bishop move's the only move, because then if he tries that, then we have our knight goes to f3, and it's a fork of the queen and king. So bishop e2 has to be the other move, the only move, because otherwise the queen can come here with a check. Yeah, let's give it a shot. I still think this pawn can run, so I'm not sure if we can actually do that. I'm not sure if we can actually do that. I think if we play knight here, I'm thinking if we play there and if he plays here, we can take there. That's the only sitch. And bishop check, king over. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Boy, this is a tough one, isn't it? Thinking we may have to. Thinking we may. Yeah, because let's take a look here. There. And if he plays here, let's see, is there any way to stop that pawn? Let's see. Let's say he moves here, there. Snap, we're too far away. Oh, I see what you're saying, because we could actually check there and then stop it. because then, yeah, okay, if we play here, he plays there, we can actually push. That protects the knight and the bishop. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. No, it's fine. You're fine. I'm just trying to think here. I think we can actually take with the rook here, because then when the king moves, we then could play queen to rook f5. I mean g5. Sorry, g5, and we will win with a check and a discovery. I know it's not near mate, but that's he can, if we play here, he can actually move his rook, and we don't have really mate. It'd be more of a draw at that point, because we wouldn't have enough attack for mate. He'd have what we'd have to do is, after takes here, he could come here, and then let's say we play here, he can actually run. So there's really no way we can checkmate him there. I'm just trying to see if I believe that's the most forcing line, because this allows for us to actually bring our rook back to attack the queen, which then the queen has to move, and when it does, we can deliver check, and then when he comes here, then we can come back here and we win the queen. I believe that it's rook takes is actually the move sequence. Let's see here, over, down. Sorry, rook takes. I gotta say the moves because I'm thinking in my head, but I have to think out loud. Rook takes, g7 check, king h8, rook g5. Wherever the queen moves, we play bishop to g7 check. He moves back. Then we play ef6. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Boom. Because this, otherwise, super, this is actually a perpetual. I'll show you. We have this here, and it's perpetual. You actually move here, and it's perpetual. I've been in a position like this, and this is so painfully not happy. If it comes up here, then you check. He has to come back, and it's perpetual. Let us get back to 2500 and on our way to 2600. Okay. Queen. Trying to see if queen here isn't. Oops, sorry. Queen to h6 isn't check. I mean, it's not check. Isn't the idea. That's what I mean. Because we got to be really effective with our moves. We can't make one mistake here. Because he's got two mating ideas. He's got check and then check when we move. He also has the ability to block if, like here, if he comes over and we try checking, he can actually block with his bishop with a discovery and a mate threat to boot, as they would say. We can't even, there isn't enough time to even win a rook, because let's say we played here, he comes up, we come over and take. He can actually check here, and then when we move, he's got mate. So we have to do something really powerful. Snap. Now there's plenty of checks, but there's only one move sequence, and it has to be forcing, total force. There can't be any anything. And potentially, I think it has to be maybe a rook check, and then the knight potentially comes in. Yeah. Or would the queen, or would it be better for a queen? Would it be better for the queen? We can't go e4 because that leads to a mate. If we after this, he comes up here and we play here, he's got that, and it does a discovery on the king. So yeah. Yeah, this move here, and I was looking at, he's going to play up to e7. Then you have knight to f5, check. And if he runs up this way, we'll say up here, we have knight to sorry, knight d4 check. And I'm thinking we potentially are close to almost mating him, because we have enough material then to come over and take. You can't. I would love to do that, but you can't because of this is the most forcing line. You have that, but the only problem is you don't have anything after all these checks. Or do you? Oh, that is true. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Huh. Puzzling. Puzzling. So it has to be the rook then. So if we play rook takes rook, we have queen takes, king moves. And then if he has queen to a, and I think we are okay if we take, because then we can actually run. Sorry, we can run up here, and if he tries to check there, we just keep running up the board. Let me see. Sorry guys, I hate when I get something in my eye. Let's see, so knight f5, he comes up here. I check, he just comes up there. Yeah, I guess it doesn't do very much, huh? Let's see if we take there. I think it is potentially rook takes, but just want to make sure. So here, there. I think it can only be takes. Nope. Snap. Hmm. Snap. It's okay. Hey, we'll get it back. Don't worry. Don't worry. You know. That I want to check actually that out. I want to see something. Remember, it's all about learning. You know what? That's one thing that we have to remember is not to get upset. I just want to see why this doesn't. Why doesn't that work? Why doesn't that work right away? It's okay. Oh, it's a draw. Okay, I was wondering. I was trying. Okay, so it's a pure draw at that point. Oh, drat. What happens if we play the knight move? Let's see about that. Okay, that's even worse. Okay, that's even worse because now we blocked that. I want, yeah, so yeah, then we lose that. So that's not right. Okay. So this has to be the move, alright. And we win a piece at that point. Okay. Not a problem. I learned something there. That's an intense position. I'll solve this one, then I gotta log off. Not a problem, guys. We're gonna get this. Don't worry, don't worry. Let's see. Okay, I'm trying to see if looking for if any one of these knight moves work on H5 or F5. I don't really see any knight moves that do anything. We potentially do have a queen move though. Okay, I'll leave this 1 second. I'll be right back. That's what I was looking at, seeing if it actually does. But we have to remember he has that, so if we play here, he potentially has there. He also has a check here with his bishop. So we have to take in consideration that move there. So I think we can go knight to f5 like what you're saying. And if pawn takes, then we can actually play rook takes. And if pawn takes here, you can bring your queen up check. And even if he checks here, we just move our king. Trying to see if we're it covers that too, so it's kind of like a forced if we take, so if we come here, if he takes there, we can actually take here, he moves over, then we retreat our knight back to e2 and we've picked up a piece. Yeah, exactly, you're right. So knight f5 is actually it's the most applicable move at the time. Trying to see if there any other move that makes sense. If he plays bishop to e3, we play knight to, oh, there's a fork, you're right. No, you're right, there's a fork. I missed that fork there. Because if we play here, he plays here, we take knight forks. So I guess we could play, wow, this is kind of an intense move. I'm going to throw this combo at you guys, see what you think. Knight f5, bishop goes to e3, knight takes e3, c takes d4, bishop takes, bishop takes on g6, and if pawn takes on g6, we have h5, but I don't know if that actually works. Yeah. What's the killer blow? Rook takes on rook takes f. If we play here, we take here. Rook takes f5. If checks, we move over. And if he takes, we bring the queen in check, and we end up mating our opponent. Or we could play bishop takes, and that may work as well. I like bishop takes actually. Yeah, but then we can actually bring in the reinforcements with a check here too after he takes. If we play here, if we play here, takes here, we play bishop takes. If takes, we check. If he moves there, huh? Yeah, I guess we don't have anything, do we? That is interesting. I think it has to be bishop takes, because then we have queen takes and we have a battery on this. So here, if he takes there, bishop takes. If he takes here, queen checks, king moves over. And then we have queen to h5 at that point, and we're threatening mate. So it does work. Trying to see though if we can't just take the bishop. I know we lose. We've got to, I think it takes. Because what we have to decide is this really a threat? The pawn here? Can we actually play bishop takes here? And if pawn takes, then can we actually play queen takes at that point? And do we have anything after that? Or do we just move the king, and if takes, then we can actually take. Oops. The king's in check, so we have to, we have basically two moves that we can play. We can play knight takes bishop, or queen h1. King h1, sorry. With king h1, you have that happens. Knight takes, you have that. King take, if king moves, I think you still have that. I think we can actually, if we take here, if we take here, he takes there. We can actually come up here and take. Then when he takes here, we can jump in with check. Then when the king moves over, and then now we can bring in the attack and stuff like that. But I'm trying to see, what do you guys think? Because I really don't see anything promising unless we do take. Otherwise, he gets to take, and it's just a mess. Yeah, we could take here. Knight takes E3. Yeah, that's. Yeah, because I think after takes here. Oh, we play here. Oh, we're entering in that if he takes there, mate 4. Okay, so we'll end here. Do you guys have any questions about anything else on this before I log off? Are you guys all good? Okay, all good. All right. Don't worry about it. I'll see if I can't, we'll get our rating built up, so don't worry about that. Remember, it's all about learning. Boy, did I learn a lot tonight on tactics. There's a lot to be learned, you know what I mean? So, you know what, we'll get to 2600 and above. We just got to keep, pushing forward. Don't worry about the mistakes. Don't get upset. And keep learning. That's the whole thing. And remember, there's always a plan in the position. You just gotta find it, and when you do, you get this. We get to say this. I love it when a plan comes together, and I believe tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, there's the Norway tournament with Nakamura, Anon, Shaq, Aronian, Ding Lauren. I think I said Magnus, Caruana, Wesley. So I hope I'm getting them all in there. I think there's like 9. I think of them, 10. I'm trying to think to see. It'd be Aronian, yeah. But just if you're interested in watching it, that'll be tomorrow. So it's gonna be pretty fun to see how Magnus and Caruana do. So yeah. Okay, well, guys, so with that, remember, keep studying. Well, as Wesley So says, serve the Lord Jesus. As I say, God bless, and I'll see you next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, or evening, and I'll be back on, Lord willing, tomorrow, so keep studying. Bye-bye, guys.